I'll talk you guys through this second test I did with Nigel. So this was, again, very early in pre-production for Rio. We didn't have the bad human Marcel. He was not modeled yet. So this is actually Tulio, the good guy. I just took off his shirt. But this was me trying to figure out how they work, how their symbiosis was. And for me, it was a lot like in the Golden Compass, where, like humans have their daemons and they're connected and they feel what the other feels and all that stuff. And I wanted this to be the sort of relationship that Nigel has with Marcel. So in this shot, my pitch was Marcel, this guy here, is very angry with Tipa, the henchman, and they give him like one last chance, one last assignment. So let's see it. And you'll see that their gazes are always straight looking at Tipa the whole time, doing that stare I was talking about. So, so this was
Nice.
fun. Just figuring out how Nigel flies in. I was looking at a lot of reference. We had an instructor at Blue Sky, which was awesome, coming to talk to us about birds and bird mechanics and how birds fly and all that stuff. And, I was studying a lot how birds sort of break and then they adjust with the wings as they're coming to the apex before they actually like land and rest on a stand. So he comes in and flies in and hover just for a second. Then you can see like one of the legs like look gets in there and there's like a stretch there. So that was fun. And then looking at people with birds like macaws and cockatoos, they do a lot of that stuff where they move the arm and the bird knows to go to the other shoulder right away, and stuff like that. So I was borrowing from that a lot as well. Here Marcel shows in the last assignment. And then this was me just testing how, like, okay, the coming in, the flying in was sort of realistic somehow, but I wanted to try something more cartoony for the next section of Nigel's flight. So I did this where he pushes off and stretches quite a lot. And then there's like a whole, like this is completely cheated, but it's like a whole turn and then grabs the thing and just throws it in his lap. And then he does this thing where he's hovering and screaming, and then he does the fly up kind of thing. This was a lot of fun, this test.
Yeah, I don't think I ever saw this test. So he was more like pudgy back then, right? He was wider.
Yes, definitely. This was still like an earlier model. It took a little bit of back and forth to find his final design. So we used a lot of Sergio's and a lot of Jun's designs to come to the final model. And yeah, he was a little bit pudgier for sure.
Yeah, that's the whole process of getting these characters to look the way they do on screen is so fascinating because you've got these great hero designs and then they get modeled in a neutral pose so that they can be properly rigged. But that might not get you back to that optimal look. And so this process here is hugely important to getting the character to be appealing and trying to find the character.
Right. So true.